Good morning, LK. Hello to you, Chet. Good morning, Ted. Let's go at it. I agree. Let's do it. Good morning, Charles. Hello to you, Phil. Good morning, Raymond. Lovely. Good energy. I appreciate it. Welcome to the Tradespoon Live Trading Room, Stocks and Options Opening Bell. My name is Scott. I will be your host. Bob is excited. Bill is pensive. Okay. Here's me trading for a while, teaching for a while. Here's the disclosures. Be careful out there. Things can be risky. We're not advisors. This is for education, yada, yada. Ted's jumping straight to it. He's like, no, liking the VIX at 34. Oh, the VIX will be an interesting one to consider. And good morning, Mark. Not seeing the screen. I think you should be. Is everyone seeing the screen? Let me check my sharing. How about now? Is everyone seeing it? I'm getting off the slides. And you should now be seeing Yahoo Finance. Can I get a yes or a no? No. Oh, what's going on here? Let me see. Show screen. How about now? Oh, goodness. Hold on. Let me audience view. Oh, it's on the wrong monitor. Okay, hold on. Family photos. How about now? We got it? Gosh. What is going on? Can't possibly be my fault. I blame GoTo. It's GoTo Webinar's fault. Okay. Futures are pulling back, but are still mildly up, but very mildly up. 0.19 on the S&P, 0.06 on the Dow, 0.32 on the NASDAQ, 0.14 on the Russell. Oil's down. Powell looks like he's saying something scary. I actually think he's saying not on my watch. It's a classic line. It works every time. Stock futures edge higher as investors weigh inflation data. Yeah, we're still weighing inflationary data. Earnings are coming up. That's the next thing. We'll get to the VIX. We'll get to you. Is it JP Morgan who's first? JP Morgan is the 14th. That is Friday. What's Goldman? Goldman is next week. Morgan Stanley is Friday. Okay, so the financials are going to kick us off as far as earnings go. And now that adds a new element to the mix. So, yeah, we've got earnings starting off Let's go back and see what other news, right? Um, doesn't feel like the stock market low is in. Ray Dalio warns of a perfect storm for the economy. Dow Jones futures erase gains on hot inflation data. Fed minutes next. What was the inflation? Did it get announced? I think it did. Let's take a look. Is it announced? CPI, core CPI. Markets haven't tanked as much as previous times. Yeah. I couldn't get a good read on that. What is this? IBD? Are they going to let me see it? Or want me to subscribe? Rose 0.4 and it was expected to be 0.3. Is that it? 8.5 versus 8.4. Yeah, that's it. Okay. 0.4 instead of 0.3, 8.5 instead of 8.4. So a little higher. Yeah, that definitely points to another 0.75% hike rather than possibly allowing the Fed to ease up and go to a 0.5% hike. That's, I think, for the bulls, that's what they're hoping for. But with inflationary numbers staying elevated, I think that it forces a ongoing hawkish stance on the rates. That's what it is. What else do we have? Oh, sorry, that was the wrong data that I was looking at. Right? What day is today? Sorry, I was looking at the wrong data. Anyways, it's the PPI that came out today. That's what it is. 0.2 instead of they were looking for 0.2 and it came in at 0.4. I think tomorrow's data is going to be looked at a little more heavily, quite honestly, as I orient myself to what day it is. It's Wednesday, by the way, if any of you were uncertain. Wednesday the 12th, not Thursday the 13th. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know. That's why I think there's not much reaction. I wasn't thinking there would be much reaction anyways. That's why I went to Thursday. I was thinking, oh yeah, we got some inflationary data, but I think that the CPI numbers are going to be looked at more than the PPI numbers. FOMC minutes are going to be released. Again, what are we looking for? We're looking for any kind of verbiage that we might translate into yes or no. They're going to start slowing down the hikes. All right. Stella, though, says she's feeling bullish. You can see here. But the grade is not great, a C grade, so it's not one of the top as far as its accuracy recently. And you can see that it does look like it's trying to bounce off the lows, but then just kind of grind sideways. It's not particularly impressive, to say the least. Okay? So more of a neutral. Oh, sorry. I hate when I do that. Hold on. How about a grind sideways trade? So, yeah, If you thought we were going to be somewhat range bound with the implied volatility elevated the way it is, excuse me, with the VIX in the 30s, there's the opening bell. There is definitely potential for like a butterfly trade, sideways, delta neutral, theta positive, vega negative, for sure. Let's look at the other markets. QQQ. Q's doesn't look as good, looking a little bit more negative, slightly better grade. Here's the Russell, small caps. Small caps looks pretty good. Looking bullish. Score not looking great. And the DIA. The DIA is also looking bullish, but more S&P kind of sideways bullish, right? So we've got two markets grinding sideways, the S&P and the Dow. We've got the NASDAQ showing weakness. We've got the Russell showing strength. So what do we have overall? We've got about a bit of a mixed bag overall. For sure. Yeah, so there you go. We've got a mess. That's what Chet says. It's a mess. Okay. Research. You can see what we looked for here. We said back in last week there might be a little bit of a bounce and then a pullback. Now in here, in the green, you can see the pullback was a bit of a higher low. What we have going on right now is more of a same low or ever so slightly. That's what we're looking at for today. Is there a possibility that we put in a double bottom here with a lower high on the VIX that gives us some institutional confirmation? That's a good question. That's what we're going to be looking at here today. Let's dive in. We'll start on the SPY. Okay. So technically lower, right? Here our low was 357. And here we closed at 357.74, but we got down to 355. So we technically touched a little lower, but we didn't close lower. And then today we're at 355, 356.56. I would say we are at support. If you remember back here on the 6th, let's go to the VIX. Back here on the 6th, whatever day that was. What day is today? Wednesday? The 12th. So that was Thursday? Is that right? Is my math right? Yeah. So on Thursday, we had talked about this kind of a setup where we were worried about a higher low on the VIX. We went up, we pulled back, and on that, we actually talked about it on that day, and we didn't get it. We said, but if it comes the next day, what do we do with that? Well, if you had any bullish trades on, you would definitely want them shut down by that point. Or at the very least, you would be hedging against that. If you didn't have any bullish trades, then you would be thinking to yourself, am I going to speculate to the downside? My thought was yes. I am bearish overall. That's something I've been saying, and that was the transition of the higher low. You can see we've been putting in ever increasing lows on the VIX in its escalation path, escalating. Now what? Well, now we got up to here. So if this pulls back and ends up like this, and then tomorrow it rolls over, I would say that's a lower high. Barely, but that's a barely. That's a barely, right? Once we're convinced that this thing could get into one of these, there's opportunity there, without a doubt. So what am I doing? Well, the fact that we're at support, I took profits on some of my bearish trades. Are you in bearish trades? Let me know if you have bearish trades on. Right? We said last week, if you're going to put the bearish trades on, you got to put them on early, or you're going to end up being a spectator. We don't wait to put those bearish trades on until after it's dropped a few days. You missed it. If that's the case, right? You missed it. Yes, in bearish trades, watching them, haven't closed them out. So I closed half. Why half? Well, because we got to a support level. We started to hold it. Does it seem like we could still break through? Yeah, I think so. So if you're holding bears, I get you. I'm with you. If you haven't taken some profits yet, you want to think, well, when are you going to take profits? What will get you taking profits? So my thought now is I've taken half profits at a good level, locked in some gains, tightened some stops, so that if it does turn around, I might actually do a stop and reverse. I might close down the bears, add some bulls, and then see where it takes us. If there's bullish trades setting up, there's a good chance it's today and tomorrow. Unless the market breaks lower, and then we just watch and see. But have a plan. And part of my plan is definitely looking at this potential setup developing on the VIX. That to me is very, very tradable. Okay. So that's but we are. Again, somebody mentioned it. They said, I don't like VIX at 34. Yeah, VIX at 34 is not bullish, right? There could be a bullish setup for an early trade based off of nothing other than purely that lower high transition, if it comes. All right, so let's look at the SPY. This was the day that the VIX turned, and then we got these 3 days. Now, what's happened? Number one, there's not a lot of volume. We had pretty good volume on the first day, then it trickled off, and then by yesterday, average volume on a doji at support. What do we have today? We have it's 8 minutes in. 8 minutes into the day. We know there's a long day. We know there's a long day ahead of us. But 8 minutes in, it's holding at support. So this is day 3 now where we're at this level. We are oversold. So our indicators are showing oversold. And certainly there's a case being made that if you're going to trade bullishly, you will have your signals soon. And you'll have to decide, do you stay in bearish trades? Do you shut those bearish trades down when you look to get into something new? And then we'll need to know where. Where are we looking to trade bullish? So we'll go through our watch list for that. You can see one of the things that we've been talking about is time frames. How long should your trades be lasting right now? Well, if you're a day trader, your trades will last day trade time levels. Scalping day trading, I would say, would be anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes. More of a swing day trader's perspective, your trades might last more like 30 minutes to 90 minutes, maybe. That's a that's a day trader. Swing trader, my time frame is more like 2 to 4 days right now. 2 to 4 days. When we caught a little bit of the upswing, it was 2 to 4 days. Took half the profits quickly, took the other half not long after, got into a bearish trade on the first red candle. I would say we timed that pretty well as far as that goes. Now what? Well, if we got in on Thursday, we've had Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and here we are Wednesday, day 4. 2 to 4 days. Do I think it could push? Yeah. And I'm holding half of my trade in case it does. But if it starts to bounce, am I still thinking about a push lower? No, I think that's it. It's not going to bounce. So, yes. Questions, comments? Do you see it similarly? Do you see it differently? Let me know what you're looking to trade. Let's get into our watch list of candidates. And we'll see what we do with it. Alcoa. What are we doing with Alcoa? Earnings not far away. This used to be my benchmark for when earnings season started, double A alphabetically. But now we see that the financial stocks kind of have lined up in front of it. Okay, fair enough. Nothing really here right now. It did pop a little bit, but we'll just keep watching it just to have a basis of commodity-based stocks. This is a very common pattern, though, you'll see, where we sold off and then we tried to come back and then it's dropped again, but it's holding this same support. Same low, not a higher low. I would call it a same low. And I still see somewhat of a consolidation coming through here like that. So could we trade this double bottom? It's not really a double bottom until it breaks to the upside. That's what we would like to see right there. Right? You can see a very similar pattern where it breaks and then holds. That's when things really have the chance to take off. Do we still want to think about trying to call out the bottom? Yeah, sure. Sure. I have no problem with that. You might find a better stock, but if you had a handful of stocks where they were sitting on support levels and you were thinking, you know what, these might turn, or even if these right sides of this are slightly higher, even better still. So that's what I'm on the lookout for. Swinging for the fences, or just let's try to get on base. Yeah, try to get on base. It's the conditions still aren't there yet for anything else. Chip stock. So ADI was one that I liked. I thought ADI and Marvell, but ADI really gave it back. You can see we got to lower points. We did it on increased volume. Yeah, that's not what we were looking for. We were hoping it was gonna hold a support level in there for a higher low. Didn't do it. Bill says, just be ready to steal second, score on a single. Right? Advance the runner. Good tactic. Archer Daniels. So Archer Daniels it's kind of holding on, but we need a little bit of a pullback for a signal. So we'll see if we get one before earnings comes. Now there's just questions on whether or not signals develop in time for the earnings. AMD, nothing there. AMD is one of the worst. Amazon is holding up. Good morning, John. AXP is holding up actually here. Did I draw these lines in here? I don't know why. I don't like them right now. Again, high or low. So this one here broke up, pulled back. I would say AXP is on my list. I like it. It's subtle. But it's definitely trying to develop something. Boeing is a maybe. I think maybe like John Deere or Caterpillar will show a little stronger, but there's prospects in the industrials. Baba, no good still. It broke up. Great. What does it have to do? It has to hold. Did it? No, just kept coming on down. And now it's all the way down here. New lows. Nothing in it for us. Okay, what's next? Bank of America, new lows, right? Not as good as AXP. AXP held on this pullback. That's what we're looking for is when you're evaluating this like last week to 7 days of trading days, what do you see there? Weakness or strength? That's a big question. Inquiring minds want to know. Caterpillar. See, Caterpillar, industrials. They broke up higher. Right now, though, the door is open, but the sellers aren't doing much. We need a little bit of a seller, a little bit of a pullback to set up the trade. It's just kind of grinding sideways for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days after this run up. I think that's close. So industrials is one that I'm thinking, okay, industrials looking all right. Definitely looking here. So we talked about this. I did not trade this signal. I saw it. I evaluated it, and I said, I don't really like it. I didn't like the gap down. I didn't like how big this candle was up, and so I didn't pull the trigger. It made a nice run, higher high. Now what? It's rolling over, got overbought, coming down. There's a setup here. If this stabilizes anywhere, I would say between 105 and 110, I'll trade it. It looks good to me. Costco's trying to turn off of a low. We haven't broken the consolidation. Still just kind of meandering a little bit. But I'll keep an eye on this one. DBC looking like a setup. John Deere. I don't know. Anyone have thoughts? As you look at Boeing, John Deere, and Caterpillar, of which one you like best, we waver sometimes. We go back and forth. I think Caterpillar is still where I'm leaning, but let me know if you see it a little differently. Here's the Dow. The Dow looks good for a higher low. The Dow looks very much like it's going through a reversal. Here's my line of consolidation. And it broke above it, and it got up here. Now it's pulling back. And what is it pulling back to? A higher low. By a lot? No. But if this thing gets a little more today or tomorrow turns, that's a very classic reversal pattern right there. Like that's absolutely the type of pattern. So I do think industrials, that makes sense. Industrials tend to be large caps. Dow is large caps, right? Disney, no. It's subtle. I hope you're seeing the difference when I say no or yes. The difference being what's happening this is still in the same consolidation. It's at a lower low. It couldn't hold. That doesn't show me that buyers are regaining ground at all, right? That doesn't show me that. FCX mining materials does show a little bit of improved conditions for sure. FXI, very much like Alibaba, Chinese stocks, no, they're still no's. I thought, hey, if they can go through the trials, great. Didn't happen. Did not happen. Gold. Gold looks okay. Gold had a nice surge. Haven't seen that for a while. Pulling back. Looks like it's. I might. Right. It's the most consistent looking signal and setup I've seen in precious metals lately. So, yeah, there's something there to look at. IWM, small caps. Same type of pattern. Let's talk about it. There's my consolidation like this. We broke up, pull back. That's the prior low. So if we can turn from here, I think that there's something going on. And if you look down here, you notice that it is at or near an oversold area. Jets, I would say, is maybe. Facebook, Meta Platforms, I would say, is a no. Marvell is a no. Right? So you can see we got in over here and caught a piece of this. I think most people took profits, were out of all of it by the 6th. The 6th is when we got our signal from the VIX, right? That said, "Oh, watch out." So what do? We shut that down. Did I trade the downside? No, there was nothing there to trade to the downside. That's not where I traded to the downside. But I'll tell you what, it gave it all back very, very quickly, right? And now we're at new lows again. So I do think that chips need to be participating for technology to have sustained rallies. Apple, Microsoft, chip stocks. That's what needs to be in place. Can we rally without technology? Yeah, right. If we have financials and industrials and some level of maybe like some consumer stocks, well, I think we could do it. Not for that long, though. We need technology participating. We definitely need that participation. Microsoft, speaking of, not good, right? Signs of life, dashed. Hopes are dashed against the rocks. It's just smashed down further. We've got to see that. Netflix, Netflix is grinding it out sideways still. Earnings aren't too far away. I didn't realize one of these guys were early like that. Okay. Here's Nvidia. They all just sort of lost their steam. Every time it looks like they're trying to gain some steam, they lose some steam. QQQ, new lows, not looking good. Starbucks. So I like Starbucks. I think Starbucks is setting up. We got up here. The overall trend has been higher. It pulled back, stabilized, made a run. Couldn't get back to the old highs, but now it hasn't got back to the old lows. So am I interested in this? Yes, I think that is interesting. That's worth looking at, worth considering. Not a lot is yet still, right? There's still not a lot going on. We've got to mind our setups. Here's silver. Silver doesn't look as good as gold. Yeah, okay. Semiconductors, you can see a totality of it. Not showing up for us yet. Here's the SPY. Holding up. I mean, barely, but it's holding up. Okay. Tesla. Yeah, we sort of bailed out on Tesla a while back. Back here, Tesla gave a little bit of hope, and then it just sort of we're almost back to yearly lows. UNG mostly sideways. Visa. I would actually say that Visa's very similar to American Express. I think you could pick. Is anyone watching any of the other ones? Capital One, Discover, MasterCard, anything like that? They are. There's some similarity in the credit side of things. What's on heat map? Let's look. That's funny. I was about to go look at the heat map. I've got it up here. Let's take a peek. Let's see. So energy not good. Consumer defensive is where the green is today. Kind of mixed through technology. PayPal. Yeah. Kind of mixed to start the day. Let's see what else we have on the list. Here's the VIX. Okay. Well, the VIX is just kind of, it's not really, It's not really doing much of anything right now. XLP, XLU. Not much there. XLU. Yeah. Well, it's one of those days where we're trying to decide, is it going to give us something? So you should definitely want to have an idea of what that something looks like for you and what you're going to do with it. If your portfolio looks a little bit like mine, then you have more bear than bull right now. You want to be thinking about what profit to take. Um, do you take any new trades? Um, if you do, which direction are you going to go? Bad day when Pepsi leads the market. Oh, did Pepsi announce earnings already? I thought someone said that. Is that what you said? Let's take a look. Yeah, they got some earnings. But even that, right? It's not showing up too much. Um yeah. Up about 3% right now, but not holding on to too much. Be careful still. This like are we seeing things that indicate there might be some shifting? Absolutely. Um, do we have the shift? Has it occurred? No, it's happening. So we definitely want to make sure that we trade according to what we see, not what we think or what we feel. Um, so any stocks that I'm missing? We've got a little extra time. If you want to throw one at me, let me know if there's something you think that should be added to our watch lists. Um, I, for me personally, here's what I would say. I do still think we have a chance that we're putting in a bottom, and that we have a fall rally. The money is on the sidelines for that. We don't need that much convincing. So I do think that there is the possibility that that's setting up, and I know exactly what I'm looking for to see it. I'm looking to see if there is uh, some confirmation from a sentiment standpoint, and going from there. So stocks like Plug or LAC are highly volatile. We have a few hundred of each. Would you recommend covered calls? Oh, okay. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. That's tough because you can see like this here from 30 to 20. This thing's down 50% from here to here. If it drops from 20 down here to 14, it's down another 25%. It's very hard to keep up with that. Um, it's very hard to keep up with that if you are trying to write covered calls to do it. Right? That's going to be very difficult. LAC, let me take a look at that one. LAC. Lithium America. Yeah, same kind of a thing, right? I mean, there's a lot of struggle. Yeah, there's a lot of struggle with that. Which stocks would you recommend writing covered calls in general? I would say anything that, I mean, the volatility is there for these. I would want to be at least neutral. I don't want to be bearish. Neutral to bullish, right? Neutral to bullish. That's what I want to see. Fred says maybe Ford shaping up. Let's take a look. That was on our list. It got kicked off the island for some reason. And you can see what that reason was that it dropped. But yeah, anything that is holding at the old lows or slightly higher, that would be the ones that I'm considering for a bit of an upside, without a doubt. That's what I would be looking for. Don't force trades right now. You can see that the market, where it's a 34 VIX. Anything can happen in a 34 VIX. But if we see signs of stability, then we may have we may have what we're looking for at least enough momentum to trade the other way. But right now we're in no man's land. Right? So Timothy said, what about Newmont Mining or RIG? Let's take a look. NEM. I think gold was showing some signs, so I wouldn't be surprised. This one had gotten beat up, but from here, it looks okay, right? It got up, pulled back. This looks like it could be setting up a higher low. So I would say that that's a consideration. I thought gold looked pretty good for the first time in a while. So like I said, not surprised to see that one looks all right. Let's take a look at RIG. Yeah, definitely RIG. That's definitely the kind of thing that I'm looking for right there, right? Is that this consolidation got broken, especially if it occurred with some volume. Now the sellers are coming in. They're not doing very much. And this thing is rolling into setup. What am I waiting for? I'm waiting for the turn, though, that indicates the sellers are done. RIG is definitely one that I would say looks like a nice looking. I mean, it's a $3 stock, so you're probably just going to buy the stock rather than an option. It has options, but I think you're probably just going to trade the stock. But yes, that's very much something I would be looking for. For me, it's reminiscent of this back here. Consolidating. It breaks out. There's your first higher low. That's the best trading that it's had right there. Came after the higher low. So the higher low is a very big part of what I'm looking for. All right. Look, don't be patient, and then lose patience right at the worst time to do it. It's consistency right now and staying with your plan. That's what you're being tested on. So make sure you pass. I'll be back this afternoon. We'll process it, see if anything changes. I'll be back this afternoon, and then I'll be back Friday morning. Have a plan, stick to the plan, and I will see you later today. If not later today, see you Friday morning. As always, happy trading.